So here is the amazing, life-changing bit that made me go from being able to heat up copper to melt copper. This is a brand of burners that are very lightsabery, but I wouldn't use it as such because it gets really hot. The only thing is these are $40 for one, which again, if you don't spend $40 on two of those, it's worth it to spend $82 on two of these, because now I have right over here, I have aluminum, which is pretty much the base, and then I have copper, which was only able to happen because of these guys, and even more amazingly, I have a polished brass piece. Not polished anymore because it's outside, but all because of these guys. And you can, the way I have set it up with the hoses, you can use one or both at a time. One of these melts aluminum in that Foundry. I recommend these ones, especially since I found ones that were like $150 alone just for these in the set. So definitely worth it. I was worried that it wouldn't work, and I couldn't figure it out, like, even though I was worried about that incorrectly, the Foundry, but these, I built that perfectly well, and these just set it right over the edge of melting what I wanted to melt. And I had to figure this out a little bit because the one online that I saw for it, he had this adjuster way over here, and it's still lit with these fully open, these air allowances open, don't know what they're called. But I couldn't do that. If I open these up even a little bit, or if I close them entirely, the flame goes out. If I close one of these, the flame goes out. So I have it barely adjusted to where it, like, just a bit of it is showing, and it works perfectly fine. Big blue flame, about that big, comes out. They work fantastically. And now, over to the hoses. Oh, okay, now for this, I will try to link all the little bits that I have here. It's 2 valves, and then this bit just goes to the regulator. And I chose this way, that way I could have both on, comme ça, or one on, one off, or I could just cut it real quick if I needed to, if I needed it faster than turning the nozzle all the way. This is a quick stop, just in case. I also did it way over here because I wanted it away from the heat, so I didn't put the nozzle up at the flame because just out of safety precaution, I didn't want these getting hot and me having to touch it and in an emergency. So I felt it was better to put it nearer the tank, which is again away from heat for above and beyond safety precautions, because the tanks themselves have safety precautions, but why would you trust just one level of safety? Yeah, and so that's the entire build. These 2 hoses came from Harbor Freight. All these brass bits came from Home Depot and or Lowe's. I will try to get them all from the same place for you guys. Yeah, thanks for watching. Wait for my next videos. They're going to be blacksmithing. That's what this channel is going to be around. I figured out is blacksmithing, and this is on your way to start blacksmithing, honestly, because for me, hold on. Yeah, so for me, melting metal was the beginning of it, because I had to figure out pretty much just how it worked. It's good to know how to have a good understanding of metal and what you're dealing with and the dangers of it, because this actually is pretty dangerous if you don't really have your safety stuff down. Gloves, glasses, face protection if you so choose. I chose against it. It's good to have a foundation of knowledge about it, and you could just, look online of people melting stuff and sort of have an idea, but having it in your hands and having the heat, feeling the heat, and knowing what you can do is good to know before you get into hitting metal, hot metal that can burn you, and you will get burned. I've gotten burned twice, very minorly. One was pretty bad, it's from the Foundry, and I got a knuckle burn, it's still there, from forging. So be safe. Figure out how to be safe. Because if you're doing it unsafely, there's really no point in doing it because you won't get anything done. It'll be inefficient if it's not safe, really. Because it's not like something else where you can be less safe and make it more efficient, make it happen quicker. Because you're still waiting on metal to melt, and in the waiting time you can be preparing to pour it and all that. It's just a lot easier and a lot less complicated if you get safe first. Really by welding equipment, like a vest and whatnot. A welding smock, leather. I can't recommend any of those. I haven't used any. But yeah, if you would like to see me using this foundry, how it works, and then using that brick lathe forge you saw earlier, and making a bunch of stuff, subscribe. Because I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. That way maybe you have a better idea of what you're doing. A big reason I'm doing this is because I know there are some people that want to learn it that have not a lot of means to do so. I have very little means, but I'm still doing it just because. So, I'll see you next time. Thank you. Have a good day. Don't look at me. It's never been this tough to get out. Yeah, it's never been this thick on the side of the walls. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, that's a shame. I didn't even know it built up this much. So the fix to that is just melting it again, and hopefully pouring more out than what I did before.